Hi, this is Bob My Money, and welcome to December 16th, 2020. This is my live trading journal with live commentary, making $500 a day, solely scalping the ES, only using one setup, the two-legged pullback. I'm trading 5 ES contracts per trade, which is $250 per 1-point scalp. With just 2 scalps, you can make $500 a day. If you want to learn more about this strategy, or if you would like to obtain the two-legged pullback indicator, which you see here with all the numbers and um, you know marking all the leg counts and identifying all the second entries and also traps, and also has alerts letting you know upcoming traps and second entries. If you want to get this indicator, go ahead and go to the official website at www.twoleggedpullback.com. There you can learn more about the strategy, also learn about the indicator and its features, and also tutorials on how to use it. So if you just want more information about the indicator in general, go ahead and check out that website. I'll link it in the description below. And also, if you've have found these videos to be helpful at all, it'll be much appreciated if you just liked and subscribed. And yeah, that would be greatly appreciated. Today, I have a treat for you. I actually have one loser today, so stick around in the video. You can see my one loser, and yeah. So with that one loser, I think it's at the end of the day, even with a loser, um, I was able to still trade, I think, with a somewhat clear mind. I think the hardest part is not to go on tilt once you have a loser, and I think I was able to still think pretty clearly. So the greatest win of today is not going on tilt after the loser. And so go ahead and check out the video. I'll have the time index of all the trades, and you can skip around and jump to whatever trades you want to see. And at the end, I always have like a trade review, so you can just kind of see them all at once and my thinking process. But I find the live trade commentary is a little more interesting because it kind of gives you insight of what can you actually see before the trade happens. The end of the day reviews, you already have hindsight 2020, and so it might be a little unfair, some of that assessment. But during the live commentary, there's everything is out there, and there's nothing hidden there. So yeah, stick around. Hope you enjoy. It's a 5-minute chart. Here's an example of a trap trade. Trap trade because it's you have this A, B, C pattern, and people try to reverse it here, and on the other side was waiting the trap here. So this is two-legged pullback. The second entry fails to make a point, as you can see here. It only goes down 4 ticks. It needs to go down 5 to make a scalper's profit, and then it reverses. And this is like one of those really tricky ones that I think come with experience, because I mean, price action wise, this looks okay. You have a two-legged pullback, and well, so I got filled my point. But basically, you get this two-legged pullback, and then that's right on the 20 EMA. It's after a strong bear bar, right at the open. Right in the open, it just kind of flushes. But there's a couple things you need to know. At the open, these bear bars can reverse. You can have open day. You can have reversals on the open of the day. Um, and another reason why this is very tricky is because the signal bar is not that bad. Granted that the next bar actually went all the way up and showed a range, right? It doesn't reach the previous high and comes back down, making it look like it's going to break down. And when it triggered, it did kind of go down quickly, but it got caught at 4 ticks and reversed. Why didn't I take this two-legged pullback? Why did I wait for the trap here? Another thing you have is kind of steep downtrend, breaking down this I guess you can call it spiking channel, or this channel here. So why did I wait for the trap instead of the two-legged pullback? You know, answering that question is probably the most important question you can ask. Do I wait for the trap, or do I enter into the second entry? The reason why I didn't enter there is because if you go into the tick frame, you can see that we are basically at resistance or support. And you know, I didn't draw the trend line here. I drew the trend line based on this pivot and this pivot and extended, and you can see that it bounced off very, very decisively, showing that this was a strong support. And so if you were to short it, you would be shorting it into a support at that point. The 5-minute, I had to adjust it here because it did break down, but before I made this one, it originally was like this. And you can see how it comes back down, it goes down and goes back up, showing that the market is respecting this line. And when it reversed with a strong bull bar. You know, this, you know, you kind of have to ask, is this an exhaustion bar or is this a measuring bar? And it looks like a measuring bar, right? Because it looks like it's breaking down, but no follow through. And with no follow through, it could be signs of an exhaustion bar instead, especially right to a support. And so when I see something bounce off support that strongly, it makes me think bulls. There are bulls here, a lot of bulls. And another thing that could scare you is scare you or stop you from going in the second entry here is this 1, 2, 3, essentially be 4 bars overlapping, showing trading range. So if you were to trade here, then you could potentially just be trading at the bottom of a trading range, you know, trying to go short at the bottom of a trading range, which is a no-no. So that's why I waited for the reversal here, the trap here. You know, strong bounce off support. I typically do not go in the first or second entry. I might go to third entry, depends on where it is, but I typically don't go on the first, second entry, essentially. Until I see clear signs of the trend continuing here, you know. But yeah, that's something. You know, another thing to note here, we see gaps between the bars on the 5-minute. Gaps, showing eagerness. This gap didn't even go back down to fill the gap; it just went straight up. That means bulls are buying at the market. They're just buying right when this closes. They're buying, and so that's why there's that 1 tick gap here. So that's you know, that's why I waited for this trap here instead of going in the second entry. We have a two-legged pullback waiting here. A, B, we need the C leg to trigger when a candle breaks or prior candle's low, and strong bull bars, reversal off the support, pretty good room for the 20 EMA to come back down to retest. But yeah, strong bull trend at the moment. Basically a full-on reversal, V bottom. Above the 20 EMA and the 5-minute. Yeah, strong bull bars on the higher time frames. If we can get a pull back to the 20 EMA here. This would be excellent, excellent, very excellent in my opinion. Second entry. Excellent. We see that the second pullback has commenced, and this could be a potential trap as well, but if it touches the 20 EMA, it won't be a trap any longer. It hits the zeros, trap is gone. The super signal changes to a regular two-legged pullback, not a trap two-legged pullback. Second entry here. Waiting for a good signal bar now. Waiting for a good signal bar. This could be the good signal bar here. We have 800, about 800 more ticks. I'm going to prime up my order. I'm not going to necessarily take it here, but priming up my order. Still waiting here. Waiting for that good signal bar. Signal bar is decent here. Actually very decent. I wish it had a bull body, but the tail is long enough for me here. If it does break above here, I'll be interested. I mean, I have my order primed already here. Currently micro double bottom. Micro double bottom on the 20 EMA after a strong bull trend, two-legged pullback to our key area. To me, this is like one of those dream setups here, but only if we get a decent signal bar here. The micro double bottom is nice because it tells you that there are limit order bulls waiting here, and kind of gives you more credence to think that this will be bullish. Because if you have limit order bulls, then perhaps there will be limit or stop order bulls as well. So this will tell us some information on how strong the limit order bulls are. Limit order bulls still in, buying 2 ticks beneath prior candle's low. I almost like this better, but if the signal bar looks terrible, then I would have to second guess this. Let's see how good the signal bar looks. Signal bar looks decent right now. Now it looks terrible. Decent. Let's get above that 50% level, that'd be nice. Signal bar, still not the best. Better. Good area. Strong bull trend. Two-legged pullback, key area. Essentially the market tried to reverse here but failed to do so. That was interesting. So you see how it opened? It opened one tick below. So people were eager to sell there. That was very interesting to me. Huh. I still think we're in a good position here with a pretty good, decent signal bar here at the key area. Good context. Coming off a strong bull trend. Strong bull bars, even 20 MA on the 5-minute, giving some support. This actually looks strong bull bar. The 10K might give us some problems here, but I think the setup is good enough for a point here. You could consider this to be type of range as well. I like to mark this to see if we have enough room. We barely have enough room here. It might be better to go into like a small retracement on this guy. I'm just scared I'm not going to get it, but I'll try for a small retracement here. Once it breaks the prior candle's high, I'm going to go in one tick below. Alright, I'm going to try getting here. I'm scared that I won't be able to get in this. Okay, I'm in. Keeping my stop at 4 points here. Alright, let's let this ride. Wow, alright, so I stepped out for a couple minutes there, and let that be a lesson to those who don't think you need that 4-point stop. That is exactly why I have my 4-point stop. Missed it by 1 tick. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's like, is the market really going to allow you for a 90% probability to get in a trade that's about 1 to 2 times risk? No, that trader's equation doesn't make sense in the market. So that's why I have my 4-point stop where it is for this exact reason. Now, you could have reversed your position right here and go short on the trap. You had the potential of it reversing on you and you basically getting 2 losses in a row, but that could have been that could be part of your trading strategy to do that. But my strategy, I just keep at the 4-point. There are times I might reverse that, but it's just like you're reversing right into the 20 MA, which is kind of hard to do. Also, on the 5-minute, I knew that I had the 20 MA to provide some support here. Also the 240 SMA down here. But yeah, that's scary. Like, of course, like no one wants to lose $1,000. But you got to kind of take those losses when it does happen. And in my mind, this was a good trade to go into. And so, yeah, worked out. Strong bull bars, 1, 2, 3 bars ending on their highs. Basically a small pullback here, 2-legged pullback. And buyers are waiting on the other side here. 2 seconds left. I'm actually interested straight up in the 5-minute right now. I'll be interested in this trade straight up. On the 2K chart, not as... I'll be interested in 2K chart as well. Might be able to get a lower entry on the 2K chart. Yeah, it's 2-legged pullback. On the 2K chart, here we go. I'll be interested here. Good signal bar off the 20 EMA. Strong bull bars on the 5-minute showing us an uptrend. Coming out of this breakout area. Keeping the stop loss at 4 points still. You can see that this is also a trap with the magenta box. And it's a trap because you have this 2-legged pullback before this one. You have this 2-legged pullback, which is A, B, C, and it fails to make a point. It makes 4 ticks, and so when it reversed, it made a trap here. So with a good signal bar like that, off the 20 MA, I consider this to be a very good trade here. I'm okay losing good trades. That's fine with me. A, B, C. So this is a 2-legged pullback as well. So you have the trap and also a 2-legged pullback. So we have a dark green 1 with a magenta box here. You do have to worry a little bit about the chop here. These are overlapping bars, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 overlapping bars essentially. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Set this ride. Right, took a hit there. It's okay. That was a good trade. Looking back at it, the range proved to be this proved to be a range essentially. And broke out of the range to the downside. If I were to do money management here again, I might have gone reverse my position here next time. Closing beneath, triggering beneath the 20 MA. Yeah, there are a couple moments you could have got back in. With this bear bar, I should have considered to have reversed my position right here. But yep, you're gonna hit those every once in a while. Okay, we got our two-legged pullback, what I was waiting for. Right on cue. Also a trap on the 2K chart. Going to enter long here. The decent signal bar. I know it's under the 20 MA, but hopefully by the time it gets here, it'll be above the 20 MA. Priming up my order here. It's also a trap. Confluence with the 5-minute as well, with the trap on the 5-minute. One, two, three, four, five, 6 bars. ABC, two-legged pullback. Also a trap as well because you have this ABC pattern right here. ABC, and it makes less than a point on the second entry, and then it reverses above the 20 MA here. So it's both a trap and a two-legged pullback at the same time, and we also have a trap on the 5-minute as well. With a good signal bar as well on the 2K chart. With this trade, even with my loss, I'll be break even for today. Well, minus commissions, of course, but yeah, still a couple more hours today. Maybe I can end up green instead of just break even. But one trade at a time. We'll take this trade first, see what happens. Let's let this ride. Look at this price action. I'm going to raise this to 2-point profit here. Seeing that there's another trap here, I'm going to enter in once it hits this trap. I'm going to raise my stop or my limit, my target here. Let's look at the price action. This bear leg ended bullish above the 20 MA, and we have another trap here because this was a two-legged pullback A, B, C, A right here, and it's another trap. So technically I can just enter this trap as well. I might enter here with another position because we have another trap.
Order submitted. Order filled.
And my target is the second trap point. So I'm in 10 contracts now because the double trap to the upside. First trap here, and the second trap here. Let's look at the price action. This looks like it wants to go up. Strong bounce off previous close, creating a new support here. 240 SMA acting as support, closing above the 20 MA. Bear leg ending bullish here. Double trap upwards. Two traps going bullish. I personally don't like how it combined my orders. Strong bull bars, weak bear bars on the 5-minute. Strong bull bar, weak bear bar on the 5-minute. Yeah, this looks very bullish to me. Strong bear bar or bull bar on the 10K chart. Just watching. Just waiting here. Let's let this ride. Another potential trap here, which again I'll be interested in.
Order submitted.
Priming up my order. As long as this is a trap, I'm interested. This would put me at 15 contracts. I might minimize my risk here by raising up my stop. If I do get in this position, it's just way too much risk. This is going to be crazy. It hits. This trap should trigger a nice spike up, in my opinion. If this trap hits, the spike should be fairly quick. That's why I'm entering with a stop limit order 1 tick above. I'm not trying to get a retracement here. I do believe if this hits, it's going to spike up to my target.
Order filled.
I'm going to raise my stop loss. Too much risk. I'm going to raise it right. I'm going to put it here where this one was, the original. At 15 contracts. One, two, three traps upwards. Let's let this ride. trap triggering on the 5-minute here. Exact same spot as this trap here. If it does break above prior candle's high, hindsight, perhaps not the best trade, just because I realize how long I've been in here. I might skunk this if it does get back to my spot. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit nervous here, but I see these traps bouncing off support here. Strong bull bar, trading on the upper 50% of it on the 10K chart. Five-minute trap will trigger if it breaks above prior candle's high. Two-legged pullback will trigger on the 2K in the exact same spot here. You have A, B, C pattern here, two-legged pullback. Hindsight, would I take this trade again? I realized maybe it's too choppy here. Kind of like up here, I traded to go short, and it was too choppy. I thought it was going to go up, but ended up being a failed breakout and going downwards. I just saw it come down and come back up definitively on the 240 SMA. 5-minute. Okay, trap triggered. Again, second trap up. At the end, it's obvious range here. Hindsight. Should I come out break even? Should I skunk this? Or there it is. Wow, that's what I was waiting for. It took forever. Okay, well I guess my premise was right. Goodness gracious, that was crazy. What just happened? Wow, that was, wow, okay. I'll take it. Trap here, I guess scared all the bears, but oh my gosh, alright. There's my 15 contracts, 1 point. That's one way to do it. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting sweaty, and yeah, that movement was very volatile. I don't know where that came from, and now it's just reversing. All the scalpers are out, Like all the scalpers like me are all out now. I'm looking for a trap here actually. See a breakout, and then we're coming back down. Potential failed breakout. Pretty strong bear bars here, going under the 20 MA. Let's get the 5-minute, still above the 20 MA on the higher time frames. But there might be a trap here waiting. You have a B, C, and some bulls might be waiting for this two-legged pullback to go long here. But I'll be waiting on the other side for a trap because we have broken down this trend line at the top of resistance and now going under the 20 MA. And so I'll be waiting for a trap here. I think the bulls who will go long here has maybe missed the fact that we broke under the 20 MA and broke under this trend line, this channel that was created from this pivot and this pivot. These two pivots extended up, broke down, and came back to retest it, failed. And so anyone going long here on this two-legged pullback has a high potential to get trapped, especially on a bad signal bar. So I'll be waiting here for a trap. But first I need the second entry to trigger. The foolish bulls will come in here, but I will come in with a trap. That's what I'm waiting for. The foolish bulls. So once this triggers, I'll be waiting on the other side of this, even on the outside bar. Priming up my order. I'm waiting here on the other side, knowing that there are bears or bulls that will be trapped here because they missed the fact that we broke down this trend line, top of resistance, under the 20 MA. And so there are bulls here who got eager, thinking we're going to continue this trend up, but we have just broken down, and now there'll be a trap waiting on the other side, and I'll be waiting here with a, even on the outside bar, I'll take this trade. Okay, trap didn't happen, but currently we're at scalpers probably, we're at 5 ticks. So there's still trap traders. Now all the scalpers are out, 6 ticks. Perfect scalp made. Or we go 7 ticks. No, 6 ticks. We hit 6 ticks perfectly. So from what I know, there are only weak bulls here. All the scalpers are out. I'll be waiting here on this two-legged pullback down because we have broken down now. So I'm expecting the stronger bulls to be to essentially still be trapped here because they're waiting for a swing. So I know the weak bulls, there are only weak bulls there actually at the moment. Waiting on the other side here for this two-legged pullback. It's not a trap any longer, but it could act similarly to a trap because we made a perfect scalp here. A, B, C. And so I'm waiting for a two-legged pullback here after this breakdown.
Order filled.
All right, I'm in this trade. So in my eyes, there were only weak bulls here, and so I think it'll just take a couple bears to bring this down to a scalp here. Decent signal bar. ABC, two-legged pullback to the 20 MA, breakdown, trend line breakdown of the 20 MA. At resistance, Let this ride. All right, target filled, and that'll be my last trade, 350. So yeah, I just saw that perfect scalp made here, 6 ticks, and knew that there are only weak bulls here, and so yep, made that scalp. Up 1,187, and I'm gonna do trade review. My trade review for today. Whoops. I'm gonna mark this one. So my first trade came off right here, and it was around 940, and there basically was a two-legged pullback here on the 240 SMA. And notice how I didn't go in this two-legged pullback. I waited. There was a two-legged pullback here. A, B, C. Sorry. A, B, C, A, B, C. Yeah, sorry. There's a two-legged pullback here. A, B, C. And I didn't go long here because I didn't like this bar. It wasn't bullish enough for me, even though it hit the 240 SMA. You know, with a strong bear trend like this, I wanted to wait to see what happens after this bar. And so I actually entered this two-legged pullback, which is A, B, C right here, and I entered long here on a good signal bar on the 240 SMA, and it was able to scalp up here. I was under the 20 MA, and had enough room to my trend line, which was this pivot, so you know that this trend line would have existed already, so enough room for a point there. My next trade, I believe, was on the 10-minute, or sorry, the 5-minute. The 5-minute chart, you know, broke down beginning. According to Al Brooks, even though off the beginning of the day, it can be like a strong bear bar, there's 50-50 chance of reversal. And so we had a reversal here, and I saw this V bottom, and I just saw how this bar right here, this bear leg in the two-legged pullback, ended up above the 50% line, around the upper two-thirds. And so seeing that, seeing how even the bear legs couldn't end bearish, I saw that this was a very strong um, bullish sentiment. And then saw this bar ending near its high. And then finally, when it broke down, I was waiting on the other side for uh, the the trap. And this trade is tricky because it looks really nice to go short, right? A, B, C, good signal bar, pretty decent signal bar. There's another signal bar that shows trading range, which gives us a clue not to take this trade. But it finally breaks under the trading range, and it looks like, this looks like a bearish bar as well, under the 20 EMA. And so you have an ABC pattern to the 20 EMA after a strong bear push. So seeing how that is a very tricky trade, and I feel for those who got trapped here, because if you're just starting, I think a lot of traders would have been trapped. But because I saw the price action coming off of this exhaustion bar, to me you have to ask, is this an exhaustion bar or measuring bar? And the answer was here from this reaction. This was an exhaustion bar. And so it reversed, and I waited on the other side of this, and I took this trade, this trap here. So that was the second trade. The third trade I took was this two-legged pullback, ABC, and I made a point. You might ask, how did you make a point? Look what happened afterwards. Well, remember I have a 4-point stop loss, and so I actually ended up taking this with a small retracement. So I took it at the high here, and look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Missed it by 1 tick, my stop loss, and came back up and gave me my point later. So that was my two-legged pullback off the 20 EMA. Just saw how high probability that was. But then, you can't be kidding yourself, like high probability trade was just, 2 points of risk. There's no chance the market will do that to you that easily. This was the killer. This is the trade that I lost. Had a loser here. Had a two-legged pullback right here, A, B, C. And I saw it off the 20 EMA. I also saw it broke above this midline, thinking it was a breakout. Confluence with the 20 EMA. And so I entered here with, this is also a trap. And so in my mind, this was such a high probability trade that I just came in at the, basically at the stop, 1 tick above. And I lost this point. I lost 4 points here. I lost $1,000. And so that put me at negative 250 for the day after my 3 wins. Looking back at it now, I think this was a trading range. Hindsight's 2020, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I made the noob mistake of trying to trade with a stop order in a trading range. Tight trading range like this, choppiness, 10 bars overlapping. Basically at this point it's 50-50, you don't know what's going to really happen. And even further, I could have reversed my position here if I wanted to on this trap. But I didn't. I just kept my 4 points, thinking maybe something similar will happen as it did here, but it didn't, and it stopped me out somewhere around here. It was, 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Basically, this bar stopped me out. So I was down 250 at that point. But in my mind, I was thinking, let's continue. Let's just keep trading, find good setups. Unfortunate, sometimes you just lose these. And, I know better. I'm reminded, don't ever go in trading ranges. Yet again, I probably entered another trading range. My basically, 5th, 6th, 7th trade all came in here in this cluster. So I saw the strong bounce off the previous close on this red line, which is this red line. Strong bounce off, thinking that we are in a reversal mode. And we kind of came up and the 20 EMA dragged us back down, but we bounced off the 240 SMA, so I thought we were testing it from above, and so we broke down, false breakdown of the 240 SMA, and I thought, we'll bounce off here and keep going up. So that gave me confidence to enter into this trap right here. And so this was a two-legged pullback, and here's the second entry, and I wanted to go into the trap. I was waiting for this trap, and the moment it triggered, it almost gave me my scalp immediately, but it missed it by one tick and reversed. And then it went down the other way, kind of making me sweat. But then from this two-legged pullback, there's another two-legged pullback here, essentially. You have another two-legged pullback here, and this second entry failed. And so there was another trap waiting on their side. And so I entered again on this trap up here, thinking, okay, surely, look at this bearish bar, look at the bear leg, looks bullish. We should trigger some stop losses up here, and then I thought we would pop up, but it didn't. It started to reverse again, making me sweat. At this point, I'm 10 contracts in, and then another trap happened right here. And not only that, there was a two-legged pullback, but I basically traded this other trap here. There's another trap here, as you can see. We have A, B, right here, C, and then this reversed, failed to make a point, and trapped again. So I entered again with 5 contracts. At this point, I had 15 contracts in here, and it reversed again on me, and I was sweating, truly sweating. And then all of a sudden, something happened, and it just spiked up, and I made my scalp here, and then reversed. I can't tell you why this happened, but in my mind, seeing this price action made me confident something like this would have happened, This is another tricky trade I considered, but I ended up scrapping it. But there's a two-legged pullback here, and tricky again because a two-legged pullback, pretty good signal bar. If you want to count this as a signal bar, but it's actually the entry bar, but kind of could be treated as a signal bar, especially with the next bar breaking down. At previous close, breaking down, retesting it, 20 EMA acting as resistance. Yet it traps here. And something very interesting happens. If we look at the 5-minute, at that very same point, the low of the day, the low close of the day was right here. This point right here made a micro double bottom. That is the exact same point that these two tails made. I saw this 5-minute, and I saw this strong bull bar, which is this price action right here. And I saw how it closed near its high, and I said, I don't think it's a good short anytime soon. And so I really considered it, but I scrapped it. And I'm glad I did, because once it trapped, it really trapped. It trapped everyone. It trapped a lot of bears here, making me think it caused this huge spike upwards. And finally, my last trade, I took this two-legged pullback, A, B, C. It took a while, but finally gave me my point. I took this one because there's a two-legged pullback, breakdown of this trend line at the resistance created from way back here, this pivot, and this, basically we're near the resistance. We broke out, came back underneath it, so a failed breakout, and under the 20 EMA, we broke down the 20 EMA, and we came back up to retest it, and finally scalped the point. Did kind of scare me a little bit, but one thing that gave me confidence was that this bull leg made only 6 ticks, which is the perfect scalp. I call it the perfect scalp because that means that 5 ticks is a scalper's profit, but there might be some scalpers still stuck. 6 ticks, all the scalpers are out. And so this price action right here tells me that there were only weak bulls here. Bulls who are willing just to only scalp, and they're all out. And that caused this reaction of the market to go down right there. So that gave me confidence to enter. And I entered short right here on this bear bar, and it looked pretty good. It started to reverse on me, but I wasn't scared as long as we were pretty much under this, and finally broke down and gave me my scalp. So that's it for today. I hope that's been helpful, and as always, happy trading and God bless.